everyone. Another month, another video I am going to be doing. At least that's the idea that I want to be doing. I want to make a video at least once a month. At least that's the goal. I'll try to make it like once a week once I finally get my stuff together, but with life as it is a femme fatale constantly on my neck telling me you wanted things to get better and they have, and now you have so much to do. So it's hard to have an online life as it is, so I apologize to all my Discord peeps and other peeps on the online sphere. I apologize for being offline. I I suddenly had a life and it's very overwhelming. But I'll try my best to at least still make videos and try to find time for internet life somehow. Anyway, um, while that's out of the way, I also wanted to point out I want to make these videos much longer because of the fact that I want to do them for only a month each. Like I said, I want to do like a podcast thing, the scrambles, um, the ramble scrambles, the ramble scribbles, ramble scribbles. I like ramble scribbles. I keep changing the name, but I think I've almost got it. Ramble scribbles. Um, scrambles. I think that's what the original name was. Scrambles, probably. Um, if I make them like at least really long, at least for the monthly updates, and then maybe once everything starts petering itself out when it comes to actual time management, I'll be able to do it like a weekly thing. Probably do like smaller pictures and stuff like that, and also other projects I've been thinking about doing. But college has really hit me in the art department, so like all my art time is into like actual schoolwork. So I can't put any of my actual artistic talents into actual videos lately. So I'm just kind of spacing myself out. So anyway, enough of cleaning house. Time to talk about Sonic Prime. I've been wanting to talk about this ever since it came out. I've been super excited about it. I've almost been just excited about this as Sonic Frontiers, which I might do a video on that if anyone's interested. Give me comments. Give me the comments. Give me them. Give me. Just put down comments saying that if you're interested, or no, I'll just leave it as comments for now. Likes would not tell me anything. The point is that I've been really liking the Sonic Prime series so far. In fact, I think quote unquote season 2 is coming out um, either next month or the month after. I'm not gonna bother looking it up because I think it's still kind of it's more in speculation right now when the next part of the season's coming out, which once again it's one of those like I love how every TV series now, especially anything involving Netflix, it's all like there's no such thing as season 1 and 2. There's just season 1 and the Boogaloo. Like it's like we always get half a season and then the other half comes out. I think they desperately want to do the whole like they want to revert back to like one episode a week kind of thing, which would help, especially in animation, um, like studios and stuff like that, if they just had it as a weekly thing and not like. But it's Netflix. It's kind of how like they were made, but the novelty is worn off, and it's like, but they also can't let go of it. It's very confusing. I really like how the series is going so far, though. I like, I love nine. Obviously, like that's like, it's one of those things. It's like, it sounds like it's like not that, but like I love the whole nine concept. Gosh, those movies. Sorry, I'm just realizing like those Sonic movies really revitalized like Tails and Knuckles as characters in the series, and not that they're really doing anything like super new with them. At least, well, at least according to the games, at least not yet. But I feel like they're planning stuff. But with like Prime has finally entered like actually doing things, at least with Tails. I think they're a little hesitant on Knuckles right now. But it does feel like everybody's all like, really what's the word I'm looking for? Like, um, putting more focus on them again, like actual focus, not like, like they're their focus. Like it's more like actual focus, particularly Tails, and I think a lot of it has to deal with the movies and kind of like the public, like the newer audience is being reintroduced. Well, being reintroduced to new audience, kind of thing. So like, of course, like they can't just assume everybody knows Tails and Knuckles. They kind of have to reestablish them and kind of get you to care about them again. I mean, I know like the majority of most Sonic characters, especially the ones that are been around for a while, have been static for a little too long. So it's nice to have uh like this, and I'm liking that it's not too fast either. Like if we completely just went like completely complete change the script, that wouldn't really be good either because the too many changes too quickly could one, will make it a little too obvious that everybody's been static for too long, and two, depending on what those changes are, could be a really bad turn. Um, and of course, my fave character, at least that's in Sonic Prime, well, actually, technically, Shadow's my favorite, but that's kind of a given. And then you have like Amy's like a close second when it comes to my favorite character. So I like how Amy is turned, uh, I mean, I liked her other different world ones, but of course the highlight Amy is of course basically all the highlight ones except I don't think we have like a highlight Rouge yet, which is kind of funny. I feel like it'd be kind of funny if like the only highlight Rouge would be like the original and all the other Rouges are just kind of meh in comparison, which would be kind of funny because like the original would have like the most interesting Rouge in that case. Which that'd be weird if they could pull that off, and if that's what they're going for, because Rouge's other like iterations are very different from uh, her original character. So it's like, I mean, not that the other characters aren't like really different, but I feel like Rouge's personality is like completely flipped, and uh, but then again, well, actually, I don't know if it's flipped or is the fact that she like none of her other personalities really hold a facade very well. Like, because Rouge does care about stuff like that. She doesn't want like the world to, like she does good things, even if she wants a little something something at the end of it. But she generally like wants. I think she generally wants to do good things for the world. And she just wants to get paid, like like any working woman. But like the point is that I think the interesting like the highlight Knuckles is going to be the pirate one. I feel like we're gonna be seeing him again. Because he is like literally the opposite of the Knuckles we know. Like point for point the opposite. Coward, not loyal. Uh, what's the other word? Coward, not loyal. A thief. Like he's literally just everything that our the original Knuckles is not. So he's pretty interesting. Um, I keep calling him the Pirate Knuckles. What is it? Oh no, I can't remember the name of the actual Pirate Knuckles. Was it Scourge? God, I'm gonna be roasted in the comment section so hard for this right now. So anyway, we're just gonna move on until somebody points it out. Um, let's see, who else? Who else? Oh, like what I was saying about Amy. I completely lost track. Oh, let's go back to the Amy. Um, it was kind of funny because everybody keeps talking about like it's like oh Metal Sonic should show up. Like Metal Sonic should be here to see like Robot Amy and it'd be really cool. I'm like, yes, it would be cool, but I know why he's not here. There's actually a genuine reason why he can't be here, like plot-wise. Like I know technically Metal Sonic is kind of a weird character when it comes to Sega. For some reason, he only exists in the comics now. For some reason, like any other medium, they just refuse to use him in anything, and I don't know why. Maybe they're just waiting for a good moment to do it. I'm hoping it's because he's gonna show up either in the third or possibly fourth movie. Who knows? I'm hoping that's the case. They want him to be like reintroduced to the main public first before going into like the other mediums. Crossing fingers, that's their plan. Please let that be your plan. The point is that even in the context of Prime, Metal Sonic can't exist in what's the universe where 9 is? and the robot Amy is. Um, what is this? Man, I haven't watched this season in a while. Now I have to watch it again. Like I watched it like literally like 3 months ago. So I'm just like I'm trying to go about like who's everyone's names? Um, is it Robotropolis? Is that what it's called? God, I'm gonna get roasted so hard for this. I'm not looking up anything. So like um, I think uh the reason why that is because they establish really like heavily that all these other universes don't have their Sonic. Like they don't have their counter Sonic in it, right? That's why he never runs into his counter self. He only runs into his counter friends. Which is kind of interesting. He never runs into like counter Eggmans in all the other universes. I think whatever happened is that all the counter Eggmans from all these different universes just ended up in one universe, which I don't know why that's a thing, but apparently that's a thing. And it's not like he found the other ones; they just showed it like maybe they were supposed to be spread out, and then they just ended up into one. Um, that's why you have like the councils because those are technically all the Eggmans that were supposed to be spread out into the other ones, but didn't for some reason didn't. Um, and what I was getting at is that the reason why Metal Sonic can't exist is because if there's no Sonic, then there's no Metal Sonic. Like, literally, Metal Sonic does not exist in even Eggman's consciousness unless Sonic exists. Now, you could argue that, well, he can make it Sonic now. Maybe. They can, if that's where the writers are going with it. I think it would depend how long this arc is. Like, it would really depend how long they want this series to run, because, like, that's the funny thing about Prime, is that this feels like a Sonic arc. It doesn't feel like a Sonic series. If that makes any sense. Does that make any sense to anybody? Listen up. So it feels more like an arc in like the comic book series where this whole concept cannot exist longer than a certain amount of issues because of how it is. Like there's definitely an end point to all this. And I feel like if it's not going to be all in one season, like actual season, like not what we're getting is half a season. Like if we're talking about like an actual how many episodes are actually in a season, I would argue this feels like a 2 season arc because I do not see them stretching this out longer than a 2 season arc. Now it wouldn't make sense to calling like would they still call it Prime after it's over, or would they have another TV series called something else? Which that'd be cool if they had another TV series connected to this and it just would be called like Sonic something something, and they just go along with that. Like each Sonic thing is like a new arc kind of thing. I wonder if they could get away with that. That'd be interesting if they could. Um, but yeah, like I do not see this. I do not see this as like a 5 season thing. I I really don't, unless something completely like there could be something that could happen that would change my mind. But as far as I've seen of this, like I said, this is structured like a basic, um, just an arc in a show of a series. Like I do not see it continuing as far as what we have. Does that make any sense? Anyway, going back to Amy again because she's my favorite. Um, what I think about Amy is that, as much as I love her very very much, I think it was called Rose Thorn, or is it just Thorn? Um, and the jungle uh, dimension thing. Um, as much as I hate to say it, even though it's technically like a really important area where Amy is, it is the weakest. Like the whole 2 episodes, is it 2 or 3 episodes? Around 2 or 3 episodes, like her whole thing is the weakest universe out of the ones we've seen so far. Which is saying a lot because one of them is literally an empty zone. But it had the one great scene with Nine. So anyway, I think it's the like as sad as it is the weakest. I don't think it's necessarily bad as some people have said it is. It is a little jank in some parts, but um, but I would say it's like the weakest um, of all the universes, which is a shame because I feel like how would I describe it? I think they were trying to be too vague on like the cool complicated like communications that were happening. Like they were trying to make it obvious but also not obvious, and they couldn't find that really good middle ground that didn't make you wanna like pull your teeth out. It's just all like I know the whole point is that they're having trouble talking to each other, but at the same time talk to each other. But that, and of course I think I feel bad for Rouge and Knuckles in the series in general because I feel like they're kind of like the B characters in each universe, except of course, like I said, I can't remember Pirate Knuckles. I'm gonna be calling him Pirate Knuckles this entire time because I refuse to look anything up right now because I'm going off by pure memory right now. Is Pirate Knuckles is the most interesting Knuckles, especially since I feel like we're probably gonna see him again. I'm crossing fingers we do. Because if any of the Knuckles that we want to see again, it's definitely that one. Um, though the funny thing is, as like with Rouge, I feel like the most interesting Rouge is the original, like original, the original Rouge. I think the second interesting one is probably the one in Robotropolis. Is the what is it? Rogue Rouge or Rebel Rouge? Like all these alternate names of them are hard to remember in my head. Um, some of them are super easy, like of course Nine. They just like that name's gonna be drilled into my head forever. Um, but um, but yeah, I think like Rouge is kind of lacking in the series, which I'm hoping maybe something interesting happens with her as we see the other half. And of course, Shadow is just perfect. Like he's the perfect boy in the series. I mean, Sonic's a perfect boy too, but Shadow is perfect boy. And I do appreciate the writers taking the path of he is the 100% straight man in the whole thing because it's supposed to be a little bit like as crazy as the show gets when it comes to what its plot. It's supposed to like it's supposed to have comedy in it, so everybody's gonna be a little goofy. We're gonna turn up the goofy meter a little bit. But Shadow is just like straight up, just like nah. It's just, it's just Shadow. The thing is, people tend to forget about Shadow is the fact that he's so serious. He comes around and becomes goofy again because because like the best example is the Shadow the Hedgehog game when it comes to like the perfect example of how Shadow is quote unquote funny is when you give him all this serious stuff and then the Sonic friends like come in and completely derail the scene. They just it's like it's like going into this Metal Gear and then suddenly Bugs Bunny goes like, "What you doing?" Like literally that's how it goes. It's not really him, it's just everyone surrounding his presence. That makes it great. So that's why I appreciate the angle there. It's like, perfect. It's everything that I wanted. Um, and of course, I'm super excited for the second half because obviously there's a like, now we gotta save this boy for the second half. So I'm just like, okay, perfect. And I'm hoping we get at least a little bit more of him. I hope he doesn't completely like disappear. Like in the next and once it starts, we only have him for like 15 minutes. God, I hope that's not the case. I don't think it is, considering one screenshot we got. It looks like we're gonna at least have him for an episode. At least. At least. I hope we have him for at least one episode. If he can't, if he has to disappear, at least please give me at least one whole episode, please. Um, and let's see. What else to talk about? I guess the only thing I can talk about now is like some of the quote unquote criticisms that I've seen. Like I have my own criticisms, but something about some of the criticisms that I kind of heard were just kind of like I feel like I should say something because they're so dumb that I have to say something. You know what I mean? Kind of criticisms. Like, I think people are going to get the wrong idea if I don't say something, kind of feeling. Because I am a Sonic fan, and like, if I don't say something, I don't know. Attention freaks. So what I mean is that I remember like people were praising it, and then suddenly like this weird turn of criticism started coming in, which is fine. It happens a lot. It's just it was weird. Like, it was one of those things. It was one thing when they just said it was bad, which is a weak criticism. You just say it's bad, and that's the end of your day, right? Um, those criticisms I don't want to bother because there's no substance to them. Um, and the only thing that I got out of some of the negative criticism was that it was quote unquote childish, which like a part of me, like a small part of me says fair enough. I mean, like, but at the same time, like a part of me is like, duh. But at the same time, I'm like, because it's a kid's show. I think the problem I had with people doing the whole it's childish criticism is, as far as I saw, I could be wrong. I didn't see anyone um, clarify any of this. Now, just to be fair, the only criticisms I was hearing from was Twitter, so I know Twitter is not really designed to clarify your criticisms. like, like I feel like Twitter is specifically designed to not clarify your criticisms unless you're going to do a whole thread, which I was trying to find. I was trying to find genuine threads of like, what do you mean by childish? Do you mean that it was made for children? Which that's not a good criticism because obviously it's made for children. Is it childish because it treats you like you're dumb? Well, maybe a few plot points maybe felt like a little too on the nose. Like I said, I think that's why I felt like the whole Thorn was the weakest, because I feel like that's like it tried to take itself seriously but also didn't want to take itself too seriously to the point where it just kind of muddled into this like this could have been like a more like it needed a slightly more serious tone, especially near the end, but they just couldn't get it there without ruining the comedic like aspect of it. Like it really couldn't. And I'm not saying it had to be like serious the entire episode, but it also couldn't really balance itself either. Once again, I didn't even get that. Like, like I was looking for like actual like explanations to the childish criticism, and I got nothing. I mean, unless somebody in the comment section could give me a more clarification of what they mean by childish, because I genuinely want to know, like, because I want to criticize the criticism, but there's nothing, because I feel like they're technically right, like, but I don't necessarily know if that's a bad thing. Like, is it is this an observation or a criticism? That's how confused I am about it. Because at the same time, I'm just all like, just because it's childish doesn't mean it's bad. Like, there's a lot of childish things that people are entertained by. So I'm just all like, I don't understand. Is this an observation or a criticism? You carry it like it's a criticism, but at the same time, you don't clarify anything. Like, but then again, there's a lot of things like that when people criticize things. It's just like, it's just bad. Clarify. And then you're dead. Like, it's hard to. I want to analyze, but there is nothing there. And that's really like, it's kind of funny. Like I said, it was weird when I started seeing it. And I was like, oh. Like, I was genuinely like, oh, really? Tell me more. And then it didn't tell me more. And I'm like, oh no. I guess the show's good then. Like, that's a weird direction I took with that inner monologue, but that's how I felt about it. It's just so like, it just came across more of an observation disguised as a criticism, and it's just like, you need to clarify why this is a bad thing. Because, I mean, the closest thing I got to, but they weren't using the word childish. There was another criticism that I felt like was actually valid. even though I didn't agree with it, but I get where they're coming from, was the whole Sonic is super goofy in Sonic Prime and Sonic Frontiers. He's super serious. Like he does have his wit and stuff like that, but compared to Prime, like there's being funny and then there's being goofy, and I get that. Like Sonic Prime is definitely in the goofy category. Definitely turned his goofy meter a bit. Not that he's never been goofy, but he's definitely like super goofy in this. And like I totally agree on that. But then again, I am also a Sonic X fan. You're probably going, where are you going with this? Trust me, I know where I'm going with this. Is like um like with Sonic as a character, it reminds me of a lot of like in Sonic X, especially in season 3, when they were going through some planets that had the trees, and with the trees, like he knew something was wrong, but he couldn't really put his finger on it, but it was really, really bad. And then you find out later that the whole like really bad thing is that those are actually like corpses of like, alien races and stuff like that, just turned into trees. But like he didn't know, but he kind of had that feeling something bad was happening. And I get that's what the vibe they were going for Sonic Frontiers, where like Sonic was like he's like the second he enters these islands, he already immediately feels the gravity of the situation because he's surrounded by ghosts, basically. Spoilers for Frontiers, by the way. Like tread carefully where I'm going with this. Where it's just like he's in a very like the vibe of the area is already pretty serious. Even like I mean it's hard to tell unless you know the context, but at the same time like Sonic as a character has always had that thing where he's just like if something really bad happens somewhere, he can usually kind of already feel like the tensity of the area. Kind of like how like you like he's just he's a little hedgehog, he's a little animal person. He senses something bad happened here. Don't know what that is yet, but I'm gonna tread a little cautiously, but pretend I'm not because that's how I roll. But and with Sonic Prime, I feel like he's too disoriented to really feel like what the problem is. Like in Sonic Prime, it's more of disorientation, and then you have like Sonic Frontiers where it's more of a cautious feeling like creeps onto him. So that's why like his serious side kind of creeped in more. And then you have Sonic Prime where he's like, um, I broke something and it made me very confused. Like I'm super confused of how to fix this. And the more I learn about it, the more I'm concerned that I can't fix it. So I'm gonna like, and then he does this whole, so he does like a whole like, well, I'm gonna pretend it doesn't affect me that much. Uh, and it not only the fact that in Sonic Prime, he's always dealing with his friends, like alternate versions of his friends. So it's like he can't really have like a set like approach to them. They're like he tries to set approach to them like he normally does, and then he realizes, oh wait, yeah, this is a different universe. But at the same time, I can't like I'm. It's like I said, I think with Sonic Prime he is disoriented compared to Sonic Frontiers, where he gets like an uneasy feeling. So that's why he's like taking it seriously, but not too seriously. Um, and he actually gets a little concerned in some parts of Sonic Frontiers too. That's another part of why he gets a little serious, because the fact that he doesn't know what's going on makes him more concerned about his friends being there. Sonic Prime, he's just completely disoriented about what he's supposed to do. And he has a hard time figuring and I would say he has a hard time figuring out when to approach these people that technically are but aren't his friends. Like he wants to talk to them like he would talk to his friends, but at the same time he's like has to remind himself that they're not his friends technically. Oh yeah, and I also want to clarify what I mean by like using Sonic X Sonic as an example, because unlike like most Sonics are like, from different TV shows and stuff like that are usually not the same Sonic, right? Like Archie Sonic is his own Sonic, Sonic X is his own Sonic, um, uh, Sonic, uh, like it, those kind of ones, they're just kind of like their own Sonic. So of course there's a reason why they would have slightly differences in personalities and stuff like that. So why are you comparing it to the two? Because technically, at least according to Sega right now, they want to connect Sonic Prime Sonic to Sonic video game Sonic. Like they're starting to slowly like kind of fit all the Sonics together, unlike the other ones where, like I said, there's Archie Sonic, there's Sonic X Sonic, there's Sonic Boom Sonic. Those are completely different Sonics that are not connected to any of the other mediums. But now they're thinking of trying to connect all the mediums, except the movies. I think that was another one they said that they're not going to connect them. But what I mean is that it's possible that they're kind of going by the fact that Sonic tends to get a little like it's one of those things that like I'm using it as more as like you can argue it's headcanon, but at the same time I feel like he has done that before where um, there's this underlying um, bad thing in the environment that he's in, and that's when he starts to get serious. Uh, but then there's also times where he gets uh, really cocky and disoriented. Um, and I feel like Sonic Prime is supposed to be like his most disoriented he's ever been, because of like the confusion with his friends, confusion with the fact that his original world is gone, and he's kind of avoiding the fact that it like he's not really avoiding the fact that it's his fault, but he's having trouble processing the fact that not only is it his fault, he might not be able to fix it. And that's what like basically Shadow's character is supposed to literally at the end beat it into his head that there's a possibility that he's probably broken it to the point where it's unfixable. Um, which I'm very curious of how they're going to go about that. If they're going to, once again, if they're going to take that like in a more serious route, especially with Shadow as a character, they could they can make this more serious, or they might like reel it back real quick. Like I said, I'm not saying that the childish criticism is wrong. Um, I'm just saying you have to clarify when that childishness ruined what was happening. Um, because it could ruin Shadows and Sonic's scene in the next few episodes if they go too childish too quickly, or how they approach it. Um, it's one of those things where I hope they don't. They have taken scenes and made them things to take seriously, like, of course, Sonic finding out that he's the one who accidentally broke the world, or when Nine took Sonic to the I forget, he called it the Zero Zone or something like that. It's the one where like nothing's there, and he wants him and Sonic to just be there. That's a good scene. That's a good serious scene. It's like, okay, like it'd be one thing if like you can't tell me it's 100% childish with that scene, because like my heart. But but yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like it's like the whole Silver situation where sometimes people's like, oh, he's just a cinnamon bun, he can't take a scene seriously, and I'm just like did you see his very first game he came out? Like he was kind of a little like that was the serious he's ever been in the series was actually his premiere. Like it's one of those things like, yeah, he is a cinnamon bun, but he saying that he can never take a situation seriously, um, and not be nervous about like, well, cautious slash nervous. Like he has this personality of like cautionality slash nervousness about a situation. I think he's more when it comes to Silver. I think he's more cautious the more authority is in front of him. Like like more people capable of the situation is involved, he gets a little nervous because then he's just all like, oh shoot, I'm getting lost in the weeds again because I got lost track with Silver. The point is, I feel like Sonic's character, I don't think the idea of him being like super goofy in this series, it is definitely a little like off, but but then again, it does remind me of the Sonic racing game too. Like also he was also really like laid back. To be fair, he was more laid back, not really goofy, but he really was not taking the situation very serious. Not even a little bit. To be fair, it wasn't. To be fair, let's be honest. The racing game, like it had its like small moments, but it was not a serious like plot at all in that game. Um, so I don't blame Sonic for not taking the situation seriously at all and just being just like, I'm gonna race cars with my friends, kind of thing. So I'm just like, I think that's why I've been kind of like, it's not like he can't be goofy, and I think a lot of the goofy behavior is more of him just being disoriented, because all of this is super disorienting when it comes to him, because he's like, the world keeps giving him new things to reconsider when it comes to like what's actually happening. Like he hasn't really had a really chance to really sit, like, I don't think he really had a really chance to sit down and genuinely process what's happening. I think that's the thing, is that I don't think, like, as fast as Sonic is and as fast as he's like, he handles the situation itself has been developing faster than he could process mentally. So I could see why there's a little bit of goofiness on his end. Now we're up to the part of the video I'm pretty sure you think I said I give myself an hour to talk about this stuff, and I feel like an hour is not even enough anymore. But I have reached the point where I probably should fit this part of the video with the comments section, because we actually had a good chunk, I would say a handful of comments. So, first one would be Neek. Well, technically we have two from Neek. So just to say, oi, the Fanard Drabbles have returned. Good to see you again, Bo. Yeah, I'm back, sort of. It's like, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to come back to the internet. Like, it's been refreshing, but also like exhausting. Like I'm exhausted no matter where I am. Let's see. And then the next comment from I almost said Zeke Neek. Okay, now for an actual question. What plot points do you want to know most about for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? Like, what do you want to know most about a certain character or a certain a certain part in the story that has happened? Okay, so I am reading comment sections from the last video of I've watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It was literally the last art vlog video I did, for anyone who's asking why Neek is asking this question. Like I said, all these comments are from literally previous video. So, considering that, I am curious if they're going to follow up. Like, I know the book has been shredded. Uh, Shredder. The book has been shredded. But I have been listening to interesting theory videos about like the fact that there were. I mean, I noticed them, but like I think some people noticed more than even I did. Was the symbols on the book were actually throughout the entire season. I think there was at least one or two of those symbols in each episode. Um, and I think it was supposed to give you an idea of maybe of what those symbols mean depending on where you found them. I think in some cases, like I said, right now it feels kind of random, but you know how it is. So I want to know if we can decipher the words. I am curious. I guess a part of me, since this is only the first season, I am curious how much of this is they're gonna follow up. Um, because they could completely derail the plot into something different and never mention any of this stuff ever again. Um, and I feel like this is the only show that could get away with that. Like, to be honest, like most shows, people would be furious, but I think this show could almost get away with that, depending on where they go with it. Like, or at least make you think that they're completely derailing it, and then like the new stuff that's also cryptic kind of falls into place with things we've seen before. I'm definitely curious if the theory of the yellow guy is actually the son David situation. I'm curious about like if David and yellow guy are connected. With was it Lizzie or Lucy? Was again, it's been like 2 months since I've thought about this. Let's see. I am curious about that. Though, like I said, I feel like they're gonna focus slightly more on a different character. So the whole, uh, the whole David thing, might get a backseat to the next season, which I'll be fine as long as they get back to it at some point. They don't have to immediately jump back into the whole David thing. Um, they can focus on like, uh, either Duck or they could even actually focus on Red Guy again if they wanted to. If they kind of wanted like a new perspective on like the Red Guy, because I feel like they're slowly putting him in a position of kind of being like family seems to be a big aspect of him. Well, community, family, and oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess he just wants like he doesn't understand why he's so different. Like he wants like something relatable. I think that's the best way to describe it. He wants something relatable. But every time he gets it, he's always disappointed about it, which is very funny. It's like a someone that has a creative mind but also ends up accidentally isolating himself because of it. I think that's what they're kind of going with his personality. Um, so like it's one of those things where I'm just like I'm curious of everything. I think it's because they do cover a lot of ground. Like I don't feel like they've really fallen behind on anything. Um, so like until like season 2 comes out, I probably would have a better answer to that question in the sense of like which one I feel. I guess I guess I guess the one I want them to focus the most on. Hmm. Uh, like a part of me wants them to focus more on. I'm gonna say her name wrong. It's either Lizzie or I think it's Lizzie. You know the girl the woman at the end. Um, like a part of me wants me to them focus more on her, but at the same time, she is definitely obviously designed to be that character. Showing her too much ruins her mystique. She's definitely a character you gotta really hold back. So like a part of me is looking forward to it, but I also appreciate them holding back on her if necessary. I don't know if that helped answer the question. I kind of went on rambles. I think in some cases, like I said, right now it feels kind of random, but you know how it is. So, I want to know if we can decipher the words. I am curious. I guess a part of me, since this is only the first season, I am curious how much of this is they're gonna follow up. Um, because they could completely derail the plot into something different and never mention any of this stuff ever again. Um, and I feel like this is the only show that could get away with that. Like, to be honest, like most shows, people would be furious, but I think this show could almost get away with that, depending on where they go with it. Like, or at least make you think that they're completely derailing it, and then like the new stuff that's also cryptic kind of falls into place with things we've seen before. Um, I'm definitely curious if the theory of the yellow guy is actually the son David situation. I'm curious about like if David and yellow guy are connected. With was it Lizzie or Lucy? Was again, it's been like 2 months since I've thought about this. Um, let's see. I am curious about that. Though, like I said, I feel like they're gonna focus slightly more on a different character. So the whole uh, the whole David thing might get a backseat to the next season, which I'll be fine as long as they get back to it at some point. They don't have to immediately jump back into the whole David thing. Um, they can focus on like uh, either Duck or they could even actually focus on Red Guy again if they wanted to. If they kind of wanted like a new perspective on like the Red Guy, because I feel like they're slowly putting him in a position of kind of being like family seems to be a big aspect of him. Well, community, family, and oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess he just wants like he doesn't understand why he's so different. Like he wants like something relatable. I think that's the best way to describe it. He wants something relatable. But every time he gets it, he's always disappointed about it, which is very funny. It's like a someone that has a creative mind but also ends up accidentally isolating himself because of it. I think that's what they're kind of going with his personality. Um, so like it's one of those things where I'm curious of everything. I think it's because they do cover a lot of ground. Like I don't feel like they've really fallen behind on anything. Um, so like until like season 2 comes out, I probably would have a better answer to that question in the sense of like which one I feel. I guess I guess I guess the one I want them to focus the most on. Hmm. Uh, like a part of me wants them to focus more on. I'm gonna say her name wrong. It's either Lizzie or I think it's Lizzie. You know the girl the woman at the end. Um, like a part of me wants me to them focus more on her, but at the same time, she is definitely obviously designed to be that character. Showing her too much ruins her mystique. She's definitely a character you gotta really hold back. So like a part of me is looking forward to it, but I also appreciate them holding back on her if necessary. I don't know if that helped answer the question. I kind of went on rambles. All right, and we have another from Emanations, aka Emily. Hello. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Once again, I apologize for taking so long, but at the same time, I feel like these art vlogs, if I want to be consistent, sadly, they'll be monthly consistent. At least that's the goal. Like, I'm trying to give myself just enough time to get these done without completely destroying my grades. And then we have another one from Numid, Numid, Numbed, Numbed, aka Connor. Uh, I give this series a no hugs out of scared. I agree. No hugs out of scared. Like, that almost sounds like a negative. Like, I wouldn't even hug this series. Um, Probably because you shouldn't. Uh, but I know it's just being silly. It's a silly comment from from a very silly person. And then we got a new one. Hello, we got Bacon Pal. Hello, Bacon Pal. Underrated channel, in my opinion. Thank you very much. I hope this year I can put more effort into it. In fact, as much as I would like to make the podcasts, I have been dabbling into the idea of making a, how would I describe it? I've been thinking of making like a still series. Like I don't want to derail the video into talking to something. What I want to say is that I'm thinking of making a series on YouTube that might be story related, outside of just the podcasts. I think I'm gonna like ditch the whole video game thing because I am definitely not a Let's Player. Uh, but I'm definitely a storyteller. So I feel like I should start making my own content here. I mean, this channel was always designed to be my number one like original stuff, outside of like I guess fan art in general, but I do want to make my own original stuff here soon. And as much as I want to work on the comic, Webtoons is um, not exactly a develop like a indie creator place right now, which is fine. In fact, I might just keep the comic as just a a passion project. I'm totally fine with it being a passion project. But I do want to see if I could write a story and make it a YouTube video and see if that covers more ground. Not that I given up on the webcomic. It's just the video idea is in the works. So I won't go into too much detail yet. That I might save for another podcast video. Um, as a thing to talk about and see how people would think of the idea. Oh, it looks like I have one more. It's from YouTube University. 3 months has been. How's the... I think that says music? I think that's supposed to be music. Haven't seen you in a while, YouTube University. That's been a while. Nice to see you again. It's probably been a while since you've seen me too. Um, been doing good. If what you mean by the music is like animatics, if I end up doing any more animatics, it will probably be 100% original projects. I don't know, and probably not be like music related. Trust me, I'm in storyboarding in college right now, so I will be making an animatic at some point for study. So I might show that off if that ends up happening. Oh, I thought I had less time. My brain does not work. It does not work good when it comes to time management. But once again, these videos are going to be a lot longer. Just to cover the fact that it might be a while before the next one. So the longer the video, the better, I guess. If you guys are going to have to wait for a long time, I might as well uh, put the effort in. And like I said, I guess next video I'm probably will be talking about a particular project that I want to work on. Once again, it's not that I'm completely abandoning the comic. In fact, I'm still making some pages right now because I've gotten comfortable with working on it. But I also want to make like a uh, like another story series on YouTube and see how it works. It's very this next project I'm thinking of is super experimental. I might not even go fully through with it, but like I said, I will put more details in later on how that's going to work out. Um, in fact, I'll probably be using like an art piece for the project in a video when I'm talking about it. So stay tuned and leave a comment if you have any questions of how I feel about Sonic Prime, and I'll definitely make another video once the second half of the season comes out. Because I feel like I will not shut up about it by the time when it comes out, and I will make a video earlier so I have a fresher brain. I need some fresh comments, fresh opinion on it instead of just like I feel like both of the things I've been talking about in this thing, I'm just all like, brain, remember, don't Google it. You have to be better than this. All right. I'll see you guys next time. And I hope you had a good February, and see you near the end of what's the next month? March? March is next month? Yeah, brain, you work right. Um, March. I'll see you guys in March. And in case I forget to say it in the next video, um, I hope you have a great day. I think I'll remember that. Uh, my brain, come on. And I will see you next time. Good morning and good night.